Show me your tits again.
One of these days, just put that instrumental up, and I'll bang that out.
Wait a minute.
Y'all crazy, bitch.
DIVORCE.
You gotta fight. A brown-eyed girl.
Cause I've still got a lot of fire left.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Thank God Cancer Saved Our Divorce Mid-Week Edition.
You know how close you were to punching that mic as you were trying to do the countdown?
This one here.
Was he trying to get himself killed?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, that's going to probably happen in here
Saves
today.
him from suicide. So, I'm just kidding.
Jesus.
Jiminy Christmas.
Not far off, James. Not far off.
God, to my well, before I introduce, it's an unusual midweek podcast because we didn't finish our Casey Anthony discussion. Now, Jamie is yawning if you're watching us on YouTube.
She's gonna light up real fast. Don't
Which
worry
here's
about
the bad part about the YouTube. Amanda's
YouTube.
face was so frozen on the last one. I don't know if I can even use it.
Well, especially some of the positions I got frozen.
it. It was frozen
Remember-
Yeah, so
for
much.
quite some time.
Yeah, it was really bad, and I don't know why, honestly. So, who just yawned?
She did, and you knew it.
She held it in. That
Is she-
hurts.
Is she?
To my left, it's my stupid ex-wife, Jamie.
You ruined everything, you stupid bitch. You ruined everything, you stupid bitch. You're just a lying little bitch who ruins things and wants the world to burn.
Burn.
Bitch, you're a stupid bitch.
That's me.
Lose some weight.
Say hello, Jamie.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I've been training at work for my replacement.
Hello, can I talk to you?
Not her. I've been training at work for my replacement, and it's going really good. And I love getting the phone calls now because we've
She's
had
not your
some-
replacement.
No,
She's a coordinator. If you knew that,
Just
Well,
pretty much a doctor, actually.
don't give a
Basically.
fuck.
Medical
Um,
professional.
I want you to know that. Real
well,
good. Look
it's a
here.
good thing we
This
don't-
here.
Uh-huh.
She's got like a PhD in that
Hello-
shit.
PhD. So we were getting phone calls, right? And some of them were just crazy. And I just sat back like, kiki. I don't have
They
to
call
look-
her any names?
No, she hasn't had angry yet, but we've had some off the wall people. But it's just nice because I ran into Jason's office today when we had this wacko call, and I said, I love this. This is so cool listening to because I don't have to fuck with it anymore. So I feel really bad for her.
How
Also,
upset
she
are
started-
you that she's sitting in the second chair that you can no longer sleep on?
You put your feet up on.
If there are two chairs
Mm-hmm.
and you use both of them to relax,
Mm-hmm.
and she's sitting in one of them, how do you relax now?
Well, one of the chairs leans way back.
Do you guys
Yeah.
sit hip
So I
to hip?
just sit like this and just watch her do work.
Do you guys sit hip to hip, and do you answer the phone and you just hand it to her?
No, I don't answer. She's in my seat. I took this passenger
Oh,
seat.
you're the guest.
I'm the guest.
Also, Jamie decided it'd be a good idea to train without taking her medication.
Oh God.
As you
that
should
poor
have.
woman.
Hey, as you
Mhm.
should have.
That poor woman.
I ended
She
up. I
deserved-
said,
Christ.
"Okay, hang on," and I got my bag out and I took my medicine. And she laughed. She goes, "What was that?" I said, this
Adderall,
is."
thank
I
you.
said,
Say,
"This
don't
is
worry.
my ADHD
Don't
medicine."
ask
so I
questions you
can't-"
don't want answers
Things,
to,
things
bitch.
will get better here in a little bit.
She said,
It was
"Oh,
morphine.
okay."
I'm about to take my
And
midday
then
nap.
once it was over, she was like, okay, and then what you do is you take this and you put it here, and then everything was perfect and very fast.
Yes.
So as that intro was playing, it reminded me of tonight. Denny's sitting at the counter. He says, "Ooh, I've got some really important work that I need to get done before we podcast." Jamie fucking shows up 2 hours before we podcast, and all of that is ruined.
Totally ruined.
Was it?
No,
Why did you decide to show
In
up? too-
between
she was here.
I was here.
stepmom number 2 and number 3, it's young Braden.
Hey, peckerhead. Maybe you should try a bit harder. 'Cause
You've got shit for brains.
I bet in this life that you won't
Get much
farther.
I want it to be smarter.
We can say smarter.
You've got
Shit
shit
for
for brains.
Say hello, Braden.
Quit talking during my goddamn intro.
She's singing.
Number 2, that laptop holder is cute.
It's actually a shelf for a locker.
I know. That's what it's not used for this.
Not for a locker.
Yeah,
Way
it's-
too wide.
Well, it's not used for this.
Doesn't it shrink?
No.
What they're talking about is the shelf that I've got the laptop on,
Your baby ass laptop.
so that I
holder.
can put the camera of me is now on, and we won't have the
What
issues.
the fuck just
Yeah,
happened?
there-
Did
well,
you
we're
have a
not
small
gonna have-
stroke?
We're not going to have the issues with the camera anymore because this machine can run them.
What machine?
This machine.
It's a laptop.
This laptop.
Not that machine.
This
machine.
is
Is that?
cream of the crop. Right
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. How much was that?
I don't know. Not in between anyone. Do you have anything you'd like to say this week, Braden?
No,
Hello.
I
we
don't
don't care.
Hello.
Here's Amanda.
Hello.
I'm a bad bitch and I got bad anxiety. People call me rude cause I ain't letting them try me. Saying I'm a hoe cause I'm in love with my body. Issues, but nobody I can talk to about it. They keep saying I should get help, but I don't even know what I need. They keep saying speak your truth, and at the same time say they don't believe.
Get today's-
Man, excuse me while I get into my feelings for a second. Usually I keep it in, but today I gotta tell it. Not that anybody gives a fuck
Right,
anyway,
sis,
but
got
everybody
it.
talking shit probably sucks anyway. Yeah, I don't even know how I feel. I don't even know how I deal. Today I really hate everybody. And that's just me being real.
There you go.
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Bad bitches have bad days too.
There it is.
Saturday, Sunday, bounce back, high, bad bitch.
There it
always.
is.
All I really want to hear is it'll be okay. Bounce back cause a bad bitch.
Why did you give
Bad
me a
bitches
side eye
can
when you
be
did that?
okay.
She gave me a side eye when she was doing it with me.
Say hello, Amanda.
Hello.
How are you doing on this Monday?
She's all thugged
It's
out on
Monday.
this
It's not-
Tuesday evening.
It's not Monday. It's Tuesday.
Is it
God
Tuesday?
damn, Pop.
It is.
Holy shit.
A couple more of
lot of work
those,
to do.
and I'm gonna have to take care of that.
I was supposed to work at the bar tonight, but my mom has COVID and my sister had to work. And so Amaria had
I see
a
that.
choir concert.
You can see you now.
And
Didn't wanna have to do it.
And breaking news has just come across the desk in the Every Joke Has a Little Truth studio. Take it away, Denny.
Thank you, Debbie.
What is the breaking news
Well, Your mother is sick again
with COVID?
COVID, yeah.
with COVID.
She got all her
Did
shots.
she get her
How
booster?
many shots?
Did she get
All
her
of them.
booster?
All
of
of the shots.
So would that
all-
make 3 or 4?
all of them.
Several.
So it's probably
There's
more
more
than
than
four.
four. There's more than
Yeah.
4 boosters at them.
Mhm.
And
What's
she's
that?
got the COVID,
She's got the COVID.
and it's confirmed COVID.
Oh yeah.
How bad is she right now?
She's not as bad as she was the first time, but
This is her second time with COVID.
yes.
Was she vaccinated before as well?
No. That was before the vaccinations
Bad.
came out.
Like a sheep.
Braden is definitely an anti-vaxxer.
But I've got the vaccination. I've got
Well,
the
you were in the
Moderna.
military. You had to be.
Well, no, you didn't have to be.
No, his wife's a doctor.
my current wife she's a medical professional.
All right, let's move on from this. None of this
You
is good.
Bastard.
Anyway, I
I'm
took
so
my
sick of this.
niece to her choir concert today, and it was really cute because I used to do choir concerts in the same area, and I
You
felt
did?
really old.
That's because you are old.
I know.
You're mid-30s now.
That's not old. That's not old.
Excuse me. On the last fucking podcast, you called us old.
I did not call you old. I said people older than me. You
No.
are older than me by default.
No, you had said
I
all
am
of you old people.
25 years old.
I'm
Now
gonna eat
you may
Fun
be
Dip.
real close, but you are older than me.
All right,
He's old as shit.
we're moving on.
He's old as shit.
When I took Isabel to the doctor, I don't know how we got on the topic. Oh, he was asking about Isabel and Piper's age because I had them both together. I said, yeah, we've got all of them in twos. I said, I've got 25, 24, 8 and 9, 1 and 2.
And he looked at you with, he was like, "What? Say those
you
first
said
two
you
numbers
said
again."
24 and 25. I said, yeah, I have 2 adult stepsons. He said, oh yeah, you didn't look old enough to have children that old. How old's Dad? Is it 48?
Dad's 48 and
said-
I'm
Old as fuck.
How old are you?
And then
30?
she said, "Oh, don't worry, I'm driving off in my Tahoe."
No, I didn't say that.
She probably could have.
And Dad just gets up and goes to work every day.
Shut up.
I do
does she.
too.
Shut up.
That's all.
Shut up.
Oh, she does every day.
Most days. Some days.
Most of the week.
Not Monday, Tuesday.
And then you know what?
You don't work on Monday or Tuesday?
I didn't this week because
Or
Isabel was sick.
Thursday.
And then you know what? When she's not
No,
at
I
work,
I can work
she
Thursday.
comes home
And
and
works.
works some more.
This here, that she's got points.
Well, let me just say what she can. And I'm not taking away anything that Amanda does.
When was the last
because-
time you changed Piper's butt?
Never.
Okay.
But
That's all I needed to say.
when was the last time they threatened
Oh,
to kick
shit.
us out of our house? Never. So
That is
let's-
such a good point.
I suppose I'm doing my part.
Whose
but-
side do I need to be on right now?
But
Ours. Don't be dumb.
but
Wait a
I
second.
help.
I do both
You
the
do help.
goddamn jobs. I pay the bills
Look,
and I potty train both my boys single-handedly.
look.
Hello, I want to talk to you.
That bitch didn't.
Okay.
Jesus.
That's enough of that.
I was going to point out that me getting a job now means that Denny has sole responsibility of getting the children to school in the mornings, the 2 older children.
Oh my god. Well, if he was
That's
like,
it. Doing my thing.
That's a full-time job. Have you
Braden-
met Braxton?
Braden-
Oh,
Without
okay.
before his
Braxton,
medication kicks in the
yeah.
morning.
Braden didn't get a day off. Garrett did. Audrey gets days off. I bet Braxton doesn't.
Days
Rex-
off of what?
School.
School.
Oh,
Audrey didn't go to school, what, once last week?
Well, that was her mother's fault.
Was
You had a
not.
play in that.
I didn't have any
I
play
think
in
somebody got duped on Thursday morning.
It was it him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody was
No.
duped Tuesday and Wednesday.
I gave you my greatest. Oh, that is true. I gave you my greatest puppy dog eyes, and you said go
that.
to
Nah,
school.
that's because I knew what you
Garrett
were
just
trying to do.
wouldn't go to school, and then we'd get
No,
a call and
Garrett
say,
was good.
No, Garrett had a
Garrett-
4.0
Yeah,
GPA
Garrett-
and said, "I don't want to
Garrett-
go today."
Garrett basically didn't need to go to school.
No.
He could teach them.
He beat school.
Do you know why?
Me?
He's me. That's why.
Okay, easy does it. I'm a Marine.
"Didn't you fail 2nd grade?"
Well, I wasn't trying to skip school in 2nd grade.
Hmm.
Okay. Can we get back to Casey
Yeah,
Anthony,
we're-
please? For
we
the
will-
love of God.
We're so far away from that topic.
No, we're
We
not.
are.
Jams is about done with her fun dip, and then there's gonna be a fire lit under her ass, and she's just gonna start yelling.
Well,
And you guys are gonna start fighting.
so as we left it on the podcast you've listened to over the last
Ooh,
couple
can I
of
recap?
days. Sure.
After the podcast you listened to the last couple of days, you
shouldn't have let
realize
her recap.
you
So-
realize that
It's the
he
wrong
is an
one.
idiot. Denny is an idiot.
I was like, "Why did you mute me? I wasn't fucking talking."
I will tell you this. Are you done?
dude, I've never done that before.
Well, let's see if we can continue that trend of never doing it before.
It's secure now.
So we had the whole Casey Anthony discussion. I will tell you, before we
Yeah.
started watching the documentary, Amanda and I were in sync.
Mhm.
Very much.
I doubt it.
No, we were.
No, we were. And I even like starting the thing, I was like, she's only doing this because of the
Getting money.
Sympathy ears.
the
sympathetic ears.
sympathetic ears that she has now with all of the talk of trauma and kind of the exploitation of, and I still think all that's true. I still think
It is
it is
I
a
still
good
think
point.
that's why she's coming out with it now, because
is
she
a good
knows she
point.
has more of a sympathetic ear currently.
Is that not the best fun dip you've ever had in your
that
whole
has to be
fucking
the
life?
tastiest thing you've ever
What?
eaten.
I mean, you were like knocking shit over to get it in your mouth. Are you okay?
I haven't knocked anything over.
Did you not just knock your microphone? You just did it again.
Jams, take it easy.
Can you hear this?
No, but I can see it. It's
Does it-
distracting.
Is it? I
Okay,
hate you
deal
so
with
much.
that. That was on your bottom lip, and you just
So,
kept your mouth open.
I agree with it. Her coming out now because of how
Sympathetic
everybody
ears.
is,
Sympathetic ears.
but that I don't think that means her dad didn't do it.
Jams knew this was coming all along.
Her dad did not
No,
do it.
I'm not saying.
So
All right, okay,
No,
so
her
hold
dad-
on. Whoa. Everybody stop.
I think her dad.
I'm going to do one question. I'm going to start with Jamie. I don't want your explanation. I just want yes or no. Do you think her dad killed Kaylee?
Yes.
Braden,
So, dude, I don't know.
yes or no?
I don't know.
Yes,
Then the
sir.
answer is
Nah.
no. Amanda,
I think that there was not.
no. Did you not understand the instructions?
Because my answer is also I don't know.
I do not think her dad killed Kaylee.
I don't know.
No, I do not. I do not.
I don't know.
So, why do you think dad killed her?
Because he's a creepy bastard.
I think he likes little girls, little kids,
Which would be one reason not to kill them.
unless he hurt her. Unless he hurt her too bad to hide it. And the only way to hide it was to kill her and wait for her body to decompose and make it go faster and then leave her in the woods.
He waited for her body to decompose in a not very orthodox manner, though. He
You don't
dunked
know.
her in a pool, and then that was it.
No. No.
It doesn't make sense that she was. I think Jamie's saying it doesn't make sense that she was that decomposed naturally just laying in the woods.
Because what the documentary said is they found a skull, and she was dead for 31 days.
No,
Well, no, they didn't start
longer.
looking for 31 days.
They
No,
did-
no. But when they found it, the bag 16 houses away, they said, we found a human skull.
Skeleton
Well, there were
remains.
skeletal remains.
Now listen.
They said we picked up a
There
skull.
was a skull in there, but it still had hair.
all skeleton remains.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
There was probably
How
other
long-
stuff.
yeah.
Dear
yeah.
old Uncle Richard had other stuff.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Could you identify?
For the
Anything-
purposes of this podcast, yes, I did identify dear old Uncle Richard.
No,
but could you tell it was him?
I could tell
His
it was
face.
No, not by his face.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not talking about his face. I'm
Okay.
talking about, was anything intact
Yes.
ever? Okay.
There was still a body to be picked up.
There was right, and here there were
Squishy,
skeletal
but-
remains, which means they could not figure out what killed her,
Well, they right.
Or
they,
if she
they
had
couldn't
any-
figure out what was
or
with
if
him.
she had.
Well,
Now,
any,
to be fair, her body was much smaller, would decompose much faster.
Correct.
would it?
I would. I
Correct.
don't know.
I do believe
I-
so.
I
yes.
Think that's gotta I mean, it's tissue, muscle mass, and tissue, and there's less muscle mass and tissue.
or does chlorine make you decompose faster?
Not in the
Not that
of time
amount.
that-
Not that amount.
So think about it. If a body in the ocean that gets found is usually bloated and swollen, not decomposed.
Now, chlorine would play a factor, but it wouldn't
I
play
mean,
a
that's
factor.
We
ocean,
are a
not
bunch
chlorine.
of people with
We have
absolute
no-
no
yeah.
idea what we're
Now,
talking
look, but
about.
what
no,
I'm-
I'm
what
just
I'm
saying
thinking about
there was
is,
no
though-
way to identify if he had sexually molested
But,
her or
to be-
anything.
To be clear, the body wasn't found after 30 days. They started looking for the body after 30 days. The body was found, was it months later?
No, not months. It wasn't that long.
I do not know the timeline between when Casey was in jail, and I think she'd been in jail for a little while, but they started looking at 31 days. They didn't find the body until a minute after.
How long would you say a minute is? Give me.
I
like
don't.
a-
That's what I'm telling you. I don't know. I have no idea. It was
Well,
never
let's see.
really talked about.
Holy
see if the internet-
shit.
They say that they use duct tape. On July 15th, she was reported missing.
So 30
Wikipedia
days
not
before
very
that.
credible.
Let's see.
Oh, that is the phone call that we heard. So
yeah, so
Yeah.
mom, well, that was just mom saying, hey, it smells like there's been a dead body in the car, but that was 31 days.
yes,
So
after the whole incident happened with her and her dad.
yeah, so timeline, let's see. Let's go to Wikipedia. They never get anything wrong.
Go back, Pop.
Nope.
Go back, because December 11th is when she was found, right under what you clicked on.
Well,
Oh,
here,
hold
this will
on.
give it to us. Because the 18th,
I'm not going to donate. So
that's
July,
her rendition.
Casey Anthony is captured on June 20th. Casey's car is towed on July 2nd, July 15th. They pick up the car from the impound yard. July 16th, police investigators discover Casey Anthony has been lying about her place of employment. You may remember that. She went to Universal Studios and walked them in.
None of these say when the call was made. So at some point in between this, the call has been made.
Well, hold on. She
wonder-
posted $500,000 bail.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
She didn't post
The
it.
whole
It was sent.
family
Her parents
allegedly
did.
refuses to take a lie detector test. Now,
September 5th, 2008.
September 15th.
No.
They
Go
all-
up
yeah,
to.
No, I saw that.
Oh, okay.
So wait, the whole family denied taking a polygraph test.
Yes, but to be fair, I would never take another one.
Right, I
Without-
understand because I've taken one too. I
Yeah.
understand why.
But were you able to
However,
refuse it?
December 11th, Braden. I think you hit that.
I
December
know I did.
11th.
No, because
No,
there
it's
was
right there. December 11th. After yet a fourth trip from Roy Kronk, skeletal remains of what appeared to be are found a quarter mile from the Anthony home.
okay,
So December the 11th, and it really started,
July.
in July. So
5
yeah,
months.
she'd be gone.
5 months.
It would just be
5
bones
months.
left.
That is just bones, and that's
But
when I.
here's the other thing.
That's what I was saying. They picked up a human skull.
Well, but no. Here's the other piece.
Go ahead.
Like you smelled the house that dear Uncle Richard was in.
I smelled
He's-
your wife.
He smelled me after being in the house.
And-
That was rough.
like
Did not like that.
even inside, outside, wherever that is.
Yeah,
That had to be noticed.
absolutely.
And it's not trash like they talk about in the trunk of the car. Trash and that smell are not the same.
No.
but and
No, there's a very but here's my issue with like that line of thinking, because of the three Anthonys, which one of them is going to know what a dead body smells like?
Yeah, I heard that too. Come on.
No, I'm saying if you smell that and you have like, you and I would be able to pick that up and say,
because
Uh-oh.
Anybody would.
Okay, let me ask you a question
well,
then, Amanda.
they would know it's a wrong smell. But
Before
you and
the-
I are going to like, I know what that is.
I'm going to tell you, anybody would.
Before
Anybody
you
would
were
smell
how-
that and say they just instinctually
That's
know.
that's
don't
what
think
I'm
so.
getting at. Before you were in that house, before you in Uncle
No.
Richard's house, do you think that you would be like, "Oh shit,
You
that's a
will-
dead body"?
You will
No.
call him dear
No?
Uncle Richard. Yes.
No?
Absolutely.
if
You don't
passed,
think so?
if you passed a
No,
house
I didn't
and
know
you
what that
just
smell was.
yeah, and you just smelled that smell, you
in
wouldn't.
the,
So, to
in
me,
your head
Yes.
though.
like to me, I
Yes.
would have thought
No.
that a dead body would smell more like sickly, sweet,
No.
and
Here's the thing. When I walked up to that door, now of course I knew, but when I walked up to the door of the home,
An
I didn't-
unworldly
I
smell.
didn't even need to open the door, and I couldn't imagine what the other side of that door was like just based on what I smelled.
But you knew somebody was dead in the house. You
Yeah.
knew.
Other than
but
that,
I
though,
wouldn't
he
need to.
also knew what the smell smelled like. It
I
didn't
just-
smell like trash.
No,
It
no,
wasn't
no.
a wet
That's
garbage
just
bag.
it. That's just because it's permeating.
yeah, it's it's
There's nothing
not
like it.
anything close to
There's
trash.
nothing like it.
It's-
There's nothing
No,
like it.
I know. I'm not saying that it's
so
like
so
trash.
but that's my point. So for a former police officer, a retired cop, to have a car sitting in his driveway of his home or on the street of his home, and him to have not said the fuck, like picked up on that.
and his wife calls it in.
Well,
There smells
so,
like there's
so
been
either
a dead
so
body.
either it didn't really smell like that, and that's why George ignored it, because it could smell like trash. It smelled like something else. Or, I mean, I don't. Why would he not call that in?
she also said there were 3 trash bags and a pizza box in the back, and
Like,
she
I
only
can tell
threw
you,
away.
2 of them.
Hold the hell on. She only threw away 2 trash bags and the pizza box. Who in their right mind, regardless of what
Yeah,
you
I don't
have
know
going
what that
on,
makes
who
sense.
is
Yeah.
not going to empty out every
Well,
bit
she
of
said
trash?
she got a phone call.
And
She
got
got a phone
distracted.
call.
A phone call.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
she
no,
said.
I agree.
Why
that
are
wouldn't.
why are you
Okay.
putting
Listen,
trash in your car anyways?
Okay.
I
okay,
think
okay.
100% Casey Anthony is a pathological liar. But I also think that her dad is a child molester. And I think that they did not look at him as deeply as they should have. They should have pinged his phone line. They should have done the due diligence on all of the family, especially if they denied to take a polygraph test. I'll tell you, a polygraph test.
Were you
they
allowed
are
to
not,
take the polygraph class on Berkeley Street? Were you allowed to not take it?
Yeah,
They told you could refuse.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
of
can
course.
always.
you can
refuse.
always refuse a polygraph
you?
test, but it
yeah.
makes you
So what
somewhat
I
of
was
it
told,
makes you look guilty, right? When
Yeah,
you
but-
refuse.
But I talked to a detective right after it happened, and he said, "Why would you do that without talking to me?"
well, yes,
Exactly.
because they're
Because
not
Exactly.
admissible
because
in
And
court.
my thought was exactly what you're saying. I had nothing to hide.
I'm guilty,
But
or
I-
I'm not
But
guilty.
I go there and I fail the goddamn thing.
Because sometimes it depends on who gives you the polygraph.
It's your
They can
heart rate.
listen.
No,
They
it's
can
more than that.
No, it's more than that. They can make you feel a certain way, and then you second guess yourself. And the
Yeah.
moment you second guess yourself,
Yeah.
that's when you start to fail or be inconclusive. Which sometimes people try to say inconclusive means you failed, right? But the thing is,
Were you inconclusive, or did you set your old house on fire?
No. I was involved.
You were involved in the house fire.
Mm-hmm.
You
I was
set that.
involved in the arson.
No,
I was,
he wasn't
You set that
really.
son of a bitch on fire.
No, I did
No.
not. But according to the
Polygraph that he took.
polygraph, I did, and I had to. I was in fear for my life at that point. Got an attorney a week before Christmas because
Yeah.
I was told I was going to prison, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
And that's the
I
thing.
didn't do
So I
that.
understand why they wouldn't take it. However,
Yeah.
in something like this case, like in something like this, if you knew nothing, why would you not?
Because the risk of failing is too big.
So if you knew
Because-
nothing,
because look
why
at-
did mom and dad deny?
Look at all the ridicule that Casey was put through just off of the suspicion of her doing something.
Well,
Because
a child is dead.
They said a child is dead,
Yeah.
and all of the lies that she told. There's no difference if you fail a polygraph. They're going to look at you the same.
But what I'm asking you is,
And
if
again,
dad
as a
is-
former cop, I think he would know not to take one.
if dad is so guilty, though, how come mom did it too? And I'm not taking his side. I've got my own opinion.
Because
I think the whole family knew that polygraph isn't necessarily reliable.
I think
and
the
that's why
dad
they
said
took it.
absolutely not. You will
Okay.
not take a polygraph
Yeah.
test
you know what I
because
do
it can
find?
be
What I do
construed.
find very
Okay.
strange,
Okay.
and this is for real.
Yeah, you've been over there reading nonstop.
On June 24th, so this is 3 weeks before they find the car. George Anthony calls police to report a break-in and report his gas cans missing. That's a very strange.
I break into his house.
His shed, I'm guessing, and his gas cans are missing. Later this day, he saw Casey at the Anthony residence and confronted her about taking them. George said that when he went to get them out of his daughter's car, she ran past him, opened the trunk, and
I did
retrieved
hear
the
that.
gas cans.
I heard
that
they
too.
they described she wouldn't let me go near the car.
Yeah.
Well, she also said that too, but she also said, "Hey, come pick up my car.
Well,
I
she said
ran
it
out
ran
of gas."
Yeah.
But she said, "Come pick it up."
Well, she said that he told her to leave it somewhere.
To leave it and that
Yes,
he would
but
go
what
get
I'm
it.
saying
he
is
would
that
get
whole
it.
that whole
Which
situation.
is how it ended up getting towed, I
Yes.
believe.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's get back on point here for just a second, because we've all got our thoughts and they're rushing and all of that.
Yeah, we
So
needed a direction.
we definitely need some direction.
Don't give him ammunition.
What are you talking
No,
about?
we need direction.
Don't give
So
him ammunition.
this what I'm getting
That was
ready
all just a recap.
what I'm getting ready to play is I'm going to play something that I got off of TikTok. I know you're surprised. And this is someone that is going to point out the inconsistencies in the, basically saying, hey, here's what we know and here's what she's spinning.
Inconsistencies in Casey
In the documentary.
Casey's documentary.
Okay,
All right. So
okay,
here we
okay.
go.
Looks like I was right, and Casey Anthony is doubling down on the accusations against her father in the new Peacock docuseries. In fact, it looks like she's taking it a step further and insinuating that it was all her father. The original defense that got Casey Anthony acquitted for the murder of her daughter Kaylee was that Casey Anthony was distracted on the family computer, and during this, Kaylee walked over to the sliding screen door and opened it herself to go out into the backyard.
Okay.
None of that was mentioned in the documentary.
Well, why would it be? It's a one-sided documentary.
Well, no, I guess
That's
that's
fair.
what she's pointing out is the inconsistency.
Yeah.
So
So-
I'm saying you're right. Casey never said anything about that. She denied all
she
that.
did say I was asleep.
She did say I went to take
I
a
went
nap
to
with
sleep
Casey
with
or
Kaylee.
with Kaylee.
And she's what she
And
had said
this-
before.
this
Hold on,
is-
what she had said before also could kind of coincide with what they found searched.
Right, that's what I was getting ready to say.
So let's keep it going.
The family had an above-ground pool, and the ladder to it was left down on that day, as confirmed by Cindy Anthony. When she came home that day, she was actually pretty irritated to see that it had been left down.
So she, unless she's going to mention it here, Casey in the documentary
Said it was
said
not down.
said there's absolutely no way that she could have gotten in the pool. I know for a fact that ladder was not down.
How
And
did
that's
she
what
know
we,
that?
that's
Because
what
she
we
was
were talking.
asleep.
But that's what you and I were
Well,
talking
she
about.
went outside looking around. Like she would have seen the ladder in the pool when she was outside looking for Kaylee's in her story.
But that's what you and I were talking about. You said that she could get up on the flower pots.
Yeah, based
and
off
I
the
was like,
pictures that
under-
we've seen,
yeah,
100%. Any Isabel could have gotten into
any
that pool.
Well,
3
Piper.
to 4-year-old
And-
can get into that pool.
What I am saying is this: if your daughter's missing, you don't just look and see that the feet are up on the stool steps are up on the pool.
The
I
pool's the
probably
first
go
place
ahead
you're
and
gonna
get
look.
up. And now I will say this in her sort of defense, I suppose. I'm not proud to say this, but if I thought one of my kids might be in that pool, I might not go up there. I might not, because
I doubt it.
That might not be an image I could get rid of.
I've known you for 25 years. You'd look. You would look.
Because the idea is hopefully that you could still be there before it was too late.
You would look.
Jamie has her hand raised.
Thank you. My question is, if George couldn't find Kaylee,
No,
why?
George did find Kaylee.
No, shut the fuck up. If George didn't find Kaylee and he went
George
into
did find Kaylee.
okay, shut the fuck up, and he went into Casey's room and woke her up,
Yeah.
and then when she says, I don't know, she was right here, and they start looking, and then he finds her. Like, if you couldn't find your granddaughter like around the house and you were looking for
Whoa,
her,
whoa, whoa,
the
whoa,
idea
whoa,
of
whoa.
though the idea of someone coming into her bedroom to ask where Kaylee was, like if Brayden were here and the boys were here and I didn't see the boys, I assume they're with Brayden. I'm not gonna go into his room looking for them. I assume they're with him, so I don't need to look for them. So
Right.
why that part doesn't make sense to
but
me.
then
That's true.
but when you open the door and you don't see her,
You know what I love about Braden right now is his mind is blown with every statement.
Well-
He's like, "Oh, I see that."
So I think the point you're making is how did he find her first? How did he know to look in the pool? I gotta tell you, if
He did. Who said he knew to look in the pool?
that's what she's implying, that's what I'm saying.
That is what she is.
Well, but she,
That's what I-
they
oh
went,
my god,
the
that's what
question
Jimmy's
is,
saying.
what took him to the bedroom looking for Kaylee?
and
that was my
also,
question.
and
Right.
also,
Mhm.
right after the bedroom, who said go right to that pool?
That's
Well,
what Jamie's
but
saying.
they were looking.
My thing is, if I have a pool and I don't find
First place you're looking.
that's the first place.
First
because
place you're
that's
looking.
a huge fear.
That's fair.
Yeah, the idea that
I'm not
somebody
gonna go
came
look in
and
the playhouse
took-
No.
because
Oh
because
no, I
she's
would look
in
in
the
the playhouse. Are you kidding me?
Not
Before the
first.
pool,
Not
you're out of
first.
your
They're out there
mind.
biting
because
together.
because in the playhouse they're safe. I don't care, and I need to know that they're safe
Yeah,
and
but
they're not
right
in
now
that water.
I'm looking for them.
right
I'm
now
That
you
is true.
right
I'm
now you don't
looking.
think anything's wrong.
Well, you
Oh,
think
she's probably in the
something's
playhouse.
up, but on my way to the pool, I'm poking my head. I'm yelling, Kaylee, I'm living it. And as I'm walking through, then I'll get to the pool. I'm not like saying I'll look at that when I'm done looking in the pool. It's on my way. I'm
Now
having a
look, Jet's little punk ass, he did hide from us. I don't know if you
Oh
guys
yeah, I
remember.
remember that.
He was on the blanket rack,
Under
and
it.
I was outside
Mhm.
doing laps around.
I hid
mean,
from my parents too.
I kid you not.
Amari.
I didn't even put
Amari did that.
shoes on. I didn't know where Jet was. And now don't call me a bad dad. He's a 4-year-old. He's a rambunctious
it.
little bastard.
Yeah, kids do it.
And he hid from daddy because he thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Now, you guys don't have a pool. And the only thing that I may have been worried about was maybe the trampoline, but they can't even jump that high. So, but
well,
I
he
did.
was just out of your sight.
But what
You
I
wanted to
knew,
know where he
yes,
was.
what I knew was I didn't know where he was.
Right.
That's
And
the answer.
I went
It's-
outside and I went from the front door, and I kid you not, I did the perimeter of your area of your house, and I couldn't find him. And I
Yeah.
walked back inside, and I'll be damned if that little bastard wasn't smiling at me, laughing in
Mhm.
in the in
That's
the
because
in the
that's what
blanket
us
rack.
kids do.
Yeah, that's what kids do.
Yeah.
I was a
Yes.
kid, and my grandmother will still tell you a very funny story that wasn't so funny at the time, where I hid in a doghouse in the back side of the property of the house they have, and there was a search for me with everybody,
Mhm.
and I pretended that I didn't hear them yelling because they were all mad at me because they were scared.
Well, yeah, because
Oh,
as
yeah.
a kid, I remember
And then
I hid from
when
my
I
mom
got out,
at some point.
When I got out, I sold myself out by pointing out who yelled the loudest.
Now, oddly enough, I did that at Lucas too.
Yeah.
Garrett and I made him hide. I put him under a beanbag, big beanbag,
Yeah.
and I said, "Don't you move, or I'm gonna beat your ass." And then I hid behind the door. and we were gone for I think an hour. Honestly,
Amaria did that to my grandmother, and they lived on the lake. My parents lived on the lake then.
Yeah.
oh,
And
terrifying!
oh man, my grandma about had a
Terrifying.
damn heart attack, but
that
she
would be
was
horrible.
hiding.
Now, what I'm getting at is that if you think that somebody is hiding, you don't go wake
No,
up.
I gotta tell
Mom.
you,
Well, yeah,
I
but
gotta
I don't
tell
think
you,
you thought they were hiding.
I look for the most dangerous. If I can't find the girls, first thing I do is take a lap outside.
Yes.
If they're in this house, if they're inside, fuck it, they're fine.
Right.
I'll get to them in a minute.
But we don't have a pool.
We don't have a pool, but I mean, I've also been going to the bathroom and come outside to Piper sitting, like before she could walk, sitting in the middle of the driveway because Isabel let her outside and shut the door.
And you say you're
Absolutely.
doing your job.
Okay, you are doing your job. You're doing
She
splendid.
is.
You're doing splendid.
My
Isabella's
brother-
another breed, okay?
My brother had a
I said,
daughter.
"Where's Piper?" I put her
And
outside.
One time I was at his house. I was 15 or 16, and he was married at the time, had their daughter, and she could not be found anywhere.
Oh,
And we looked
shit.
and looked and looked, and where they lived, it was not a good neighborhood. So outside, inside, called the police. Police did a search.
The police
were there. She had turned out very funny. She had went into their room and fell asleep on their bed, and either one of them had taken their laundry in the bedroom and tossed it on the bed, and she was under it and
Oh my
asleep.
God.
And the police are tearing everything apart and interviewing people. And yeah, it was very,
Wow.
I mean, the relief when she appeared, because
She wakes up. What's
it
wrong?
was long enough. I mean, she was older. She wasn't like 3 or 4. She was 5, 6, 7 years old, probably,
But
to where
still,
you think she might have
2-hour
been
nap.
kidnapped.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there was real fear of that
Mhm.
and
Now-
real relief once and disbelief. Okay, you didn't hear anything? No, she was asleep. So,
Now, what we all just did though is basically give sort of trying to
I tell you what,
Introspect.
I'm going to keep going.
compare to this. But what I'm
We're
saying is,
not.
how did you? Go
Let's-
ahead.
let's
Tom.
keep going.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Let's keep going.
Go ahead.
because Kaylee could and did on several occasions climb the ladder by herself to get in the pool. So according to the defense, this is what happened on that day, and Casey's father, George Anthony, is the one who found Kaylee floating lifeless in the pool. And so that his daughter wouldn't go to jail for child neglect, he disposed of the body for her. But now, of course, her story's changing again, and Casey says that she fell asleep with Kaylee in her arms, and when she woke up, she was gone. She then walked outside to see George Anthony holding Kaylee's dripping body in his arms. Something absolutely insane that came out during the trial is that Casey said that George Anthony touched her inappropriately starting at age 8. And now she's saying that George moved on to her daughter Kaylee, who is 3 years old, and he then smothered her with a pillow and then drowned her to try to destroy the evidence of the inappropriate situation that was going on between him and his granddaughter. Something you'll hear people say about Casey Anthony is that she just lies and lies and lies, and a lot of the time the lies don't even make sense. And in the new documentary, she's saying that the ladder to the pool was up and there was no way Kaylee could have gotten in. So she's like directly contradicting what they originally said in her defense.
Now, it's not done yet, but I'm stopping it to make one quick point. In my opinion, when I watched this, not the documentary, but the original trial, she had her bacon saved by Jose Baez and his salesmanship on that little girl drowned.
By this story, yes.
And
in her documentary, she's contradicting the things
in
that
her
will save
documentary,
her.
she says
Is what he's saying.
she didn't drown.
Yeah, she
wanna know
didn't
why?
drown.
She's alluding. So in the documentary, she alludes to, I think George killed her because he was fondling her. Now we're talking about destroying evidence in the pool and how all that goes into. I think there is kind of a theory that chlorine can get rid of some fluids DNA wise, but I don't know if there's any like truth to that.
It's not out of the realm.
I am not willing, regardless of what I think of this dude, right, on how strange he is, and as you say, with the light hair and the dark eyebrows.
That was just me making fun.
Like, I'm not willing even if he molested her at 8, I'm just not willing to jump to intercourse with that little girl.
I don't
There are
even
so many. There are so many
Many-
people that have. Like, I know you're not willing to because you don't want to believe that any man
It's
could
not
do
that I
that.
don't want to believe. I know it happens. But what I don't know is
It is a fact. I'm pop on mute.
I think the
Dead.
I don't think so.
No, I'm dead.
somebody is off
Yeah.
right now. We're still going. Keep going.
I think that it's not out of the realm for him to be doing things he shouldn't be with that little girl. And she gets too loud and he doesn't want to wake Casey up. And he puts a pillow over her face. What's wrong?
Well, keep going because they can't hear.
Oh.
They can't hear you anyway.
And they can't hear me?
Well, no, they can hear you. Keep going.
Oh my goodness. And puts a pillow over her face and she does suffocate. And oh my God, how is anybody going to explain that she just suffocates? So maybe if she's in the pool, she drowned and that saves.
So is this the first time that he did it? Is this the first time that he did it?
No, I'm sure it's not.
No, but what I'm getting at is that so if he is a historical child molester
Mhm.
and he just said, you know what, you're being too loud this time, and he suffocates her, and then he says, oh shit, I got to do something about this, and then he thinks to put her in a pool with chlorine.
It's not about the chlorine. It's about
Covering up how she died. She
Yes.
died from asphyxiation, which also could be drowning.
Yeah.
Asphyxiation.
I don't think so.
No, I don't. I think that this is all speculation. This is all Casey's story that she's spinning, and there's no evidence or no proof of this. My problem with the whole thing is the cops at the time could have eliminated the possibility of any of
No, I
this
don't
bullshit
disagree.
if they had done some more investigating.
I don't disagree.
Mhm.
Go ahead and test your mic, Braden. Just talking to it for the love of God.
Dead.
Yeah, and you just keep pounding on it like it's gonna come alive.
No, I'm trying to.
Fix
There it
it.
is.
That's
there
because
it is.
you touched the stuff I told you not
yeah,
to touch.
No, it's not.
You moved it.
I
Your
didn't
thing.
touch anything.
It's okay.
You think I turned it on by accident?
Yes.
That's not how I did that.
Yes, because it's on here.
All right, let's keep moving. Let's
It
keep
doesn't
moving.
matter.
So it's while I hear what you're saying about that, the problem is that Casey gave them so many reasons to not look anywhere else. And they did investigate, George, because he said the officer, the lead investigator, came out and said, they all lied to me.
Mhm.
Every one of them did. But that doesn't mean that I think that he killed that little girl.
Right. So, and that's the problem I had with the lead investigator. He says, like, in the same episode that they aired, the interview with him, he said, yeah, we were only looking at Casey. Look at how many lies she told us.
I didn't say that.
He
didn't say
he
that. He
said
insinuated that we had. Why wouldn't we look at her? Why wouldn't we focus on her?
because she had lied
everybody
to
else
us.
was looking, and she did nothing but put a big beacon.
No,
look
there
at
was
me, look
there
at
was
me.
something specific. I
Fair.
don't remember. I
Fair.
don't remember the quote that he said, but it
Every
was
lie she told was so.
okay.
But
But
what
was
she-
so much.
But the investigator said in the same interview, within span of minutes, probably said we looked at Casey because she was telling us lies, and then when asked about all the lies that George had told, said, "Well, yeah, being a liar doesn't make you a murderer." That's not consistent. You cannot have that opinion about one and not the other. I understand it makes her more suspicious, and I agree with it making her more suspicious. And yes, look at her. But if you have the other members of the family and all the evidence at the crime scene leads to the house, you have 3 members in the house, 1 is accounted for, investigate 2.
You have the
Not
car.
just one.
I believe that they investigated him.
They didn't.
Obviously, they. Well, I mean, you
Not
can,
fully, not
you
as
can
much as they
say-
did with her.
Well,
They took
didn't
his
need
word
to.
almost
Why?
as
They
They
gospel.
did because she said she worked at Universal. She walked in, she waved, and she finally said, "Nope, don't work here."
I can
She-
I
she-
can understand what you both are saying.
And her car smells, and she
There it
doesn't let
is.
them to the gas cans in the car, and she says it herself that the gas cans in the car. She says it herself that it smelled.
What
she
does that
says,
have to do with anything?
Yeah.
Well, because nothing she says, like
that's
nothing
that's what I was gonna
if
say.
I were an
Everything.
investigator, I would say, quit fucking with him. She's your one.
Uh-huh.
And
But you cannot
Right after Universal.
You cannot go into a case with just, oh, we only investigated. You
So
can't.
time out.
but
Time
none
out.
of us
No,
are
you
investigators.
can't. You
Time-
cannot do that. But at the
Time
same
out.
time,
Time out.
if you have a red flag flapping
Right.
in your face, hitting
Right, but
you.
hang on.
But
hang
he
on.
has red flags too.
Yes.
No,
Ju-
he does.
Hang
Yes, he
on.
does.
If you're saying because she lied about where she worked, she must have murdered her daughter.
She
what
did
I'm-
not
that's not
just
what I'm
lie.
saying.
No,
she
I
did
mean,
not
No,
just lie.
she impeded the investigation of trying to find where she was.
Let's
Absolutely.
also look at the fact. Let's also look at the fact that it's her daughter.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now it's her daughter, and to everyone's admission to the officers at this point, Casey disappeared for 31 days. Mom and Dad didn't know where she was. Maybe George did, if you guys believe all that nonsense.
31 is so long.
But she's gone for 30 days.
Yeah.
And then they finally track her down. And it says in the timeline, Mom goes to the house. Where is Kaylee? And she says, Mom, I've been looking for her for a month. I don't know where she is. And that's when all hell breaks loose. Well, okay. So here's a mom that for 30 goddamn days was nowhere to be seen by Mom and Dad. Neither was the grandchild. But what we do see are pictures of her at a bar and in a bikini contest or best body contest.
So all of those
Hold on.
were not in that time frame.
Yes, they were.
They tried to spin it that all
But
of
there
those,
was a picture that was added in. But she even said,
yeah, she
said
was
in
going
the
out acting
documentary
like
that she
nothing
was
was wrong.
She was going out. So she was going out. She got a tattoo. Horrible idea. But think about everything I've just said. Tattoo, pictures of her being out partying in bars with men, smiling, and good life on her back. And her mom and dad didn't see her for a month. The child's not been seen for a month. And you want them to stop and go back and talk to grandpa?
No, I want them to do both. I want them to exhaust every effort of figuring out what actually happened. Because if you have someone who says they're not doing it, why are you not looking at, again, you have physical evidence. You have lies and lies and lies and lies and bullshit
That's
and
not physical
speculation.
evidence.
Nope. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. You have all this speculation, the pictures, the party, and the 30 days, all of that speculation. What you do have is physical evidence at the crime scene that links to one house that had 3 members living in it. One person has an alibi.
Due diligence was done in that investigation to Casey, but it was not done to the other 2 members. I get what you two are saying.
Kaylee's the other member. Mom wasn't there. Mom was at work.
Mom was at work,
And
yes.
George did go to work, and he was there on time.
But did they ping his phone?
Well,
What
yeah,
if they
that's
did?
what I'm
Because
getting at.
let's clear that up as much as we can because we don't know. I mean, we know that
But they
didn't.
didn't.
Right. But they're talking about this. They're talking about this. The fact that this search was done on Casey's Google profile on the household computer, and it was done at like 2:54. Dad had to be to work at 3. Dad showed that he was to work at 3.
How did Dad show that he was to work?
Time.
The timesheet.
Yeah,
he had a timesheet,
and there were other. I'm sure they could mess it up, but Casey in the documentary insinuates that he came home and searched that, and then hustled to work. Like he searched it.
I
and
guess
then
I don't
hustled
know.
to work.
I don't know that she's saying he came home.
No, she did.
I think he
Had been home.
She says that he was there and he searched it and like insinuating he
because
came
she
back
didn't leave until 4, right?
until 4. Now, she says she was home.
Casey
said she was home.
Casey and Casey's cell phone
Show that she was home.
corroborates that she was home until 4.
You
when
made fun of me for saying corroborates one time.
I know.
It's
Now I can't
corroborate.
say it correctly because you said it that one time. And then she goes to her boyfriend's house, which is the story she's saying, and that's what the physical evidence shows us. The only thing is we do not have evidence of where George was. If Casey is claiming that he was home and he is claiming that he's not home, that is a huge missing puzzle piece that it would only take, hey, let's just check this out.
Well, let's just
figure it out.
Let me just do this. So Casey left and didn't take her phone. It pings at the house. So is that even if they ping George's cell phone, does it matter if it shows he's at the house?
They are. So this is
It
this is
gives you
2000.
speculation.
This is
Absolutely.
2008
No.
when
Sure
I mean,
does.
it does, but can
Yeah.
you use it?
when this is 2008. Remember, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2008. So our knowledge of cell phone tracking and GPS on them wasn't. Cell phones didn't all have GPS. You could have.
Well, that one did. I mean, it showed her latitude
So
and
so
longitude
it could only
coordinates.
ping when the cell phone was activated or made a phone call. So
Nope.
there was a phone call that he made to the house. They have his phone records that he called the house after, like, minutes before he got to work. He
How could he
called
have done that? He was at home. He was at home doing a
minutes.
Google search.
Minutes. Like,
Here,
Casey does say it was 10 minutes from the house to his job.
and it was at 2:54 or something like that
2:51
when they were done.
And she said he
there
can
was
get
two of
there.
them. One at
Yeah.
2:51, one at 2:54.
Well, no. 2:49 is when they search was initiated, and she said at 2:51 the computer went off and he went to work. That's what
All right,
she
let's-
said.
and there's a cell phone call made between them. So she's saying you have that call. You could have pulled his location. Was he closer to the house or was he almost at his job? That would have told us when he left.
Nah. All right, hold on.
Yeah,
What do you
I
mean?
mean, I personally think that Casey is the product of what happens when parents just put up with their kids' BS and believe everything they say and don't really hold them accountable. I mean, before Kaylee was even conceived, the Anthony family was built on a foundation of lies. I actually have my own theory about why Casey says these things about her father, and she also said the same things about Lee, her brother, who's really hard to find photos of. So while Kaylee was missing, her father and her brother were really pressing her for answers, and they were a lot more accusatory, while her mom was defending her. And I think that Casey decided to say those things about her father and brother as a way to punish them for not believing her BS. She could have thrown her mom under the bus as well, but she didn't, and I think it's because her mom enables her. What do you guys think? I mean, 99% of people believe that Casey single-handedly did this because she didn't want her daughter anymore, but I would love to hear what you guys think about Cindy and George Anthony and their dynamic with Casey.
Well, clearly that's a horrible dynamic.
Yeah, I don't think either of them enable, like, that phone call that we got to listen to the full thing of, like, that first off, if I had a sister-in-law say, if your daughter dies, I don't know what I'll do. I will come through that phone and kill you. My daughter's missing. I don't give a fuck about your feelings. So don't talk to me while I'm in jail for her murder. Like, that just the concept that someone would say that
Yeah, but
is
did you hear how she reacted to it?
pissed off.
No.
Do you think the things I
No.
would have said?
But she didn't say anything that I would have said. If she said no, do you think I would have let anything happen to her? Now let me talk.
The
to
way
whatever his name is.
they're talking, sweetheart and honey, all of that is so fucking condescending, and it's fake. They're all of them, because the sister-in-law says honey, sweetheart. The mom says honey, sweetheart.
Well, because at this
sweetheart,
time,
where's Kaylee? You're
there's-
not gonna fucking talk to somebody like
they,
that.
but let's be honest.
They know it's recorded.
Maybe to some degree, but
Mm-hmm.
they also know that there's a chance that little girl's still alive. And there's a chance because Casey's not saying, "Oh my God, she's dead." So they're trying. There's a chance, and they know there's a chance, but there's also a chance she's still alive. So they're trying to kill her with kindness, just like what I would do.
I didn't take any of that as killing her with kindness.
I
don't think it was kind, but
I would have said, "Hey, get out of her what you can," because you hear her brother. Look, where is Kaylee? We're going to.
But they
find
also
it.
withhold.
The truth is going to come out.
She was trying to get a phone number, and they withhold that from her.
Yeah, because they're trying to get information.
But
she's saying
clearly she's not going to give you information. If she's not giving you information and you're not giving her what she wants.
You are the one specifically
get the
that
boyfriend.
in this particular situation, if you had her on the phone and you thought that there was something going on that you didn't know the answer to, you, of all of us, would say, "Oh, I'll let you talk. I'll give you that number. But before I do, you tell me where Kaylee is."
Yeah, but I wouldn't be honey, sweetheart, this and that.
Yeah, if it's the first time you talk to her.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be nice.
I think that if you,
I see what you're
it's
saying
all
because
very simple for us to do from here.
You are better
exactly.
at people. I can't. I don't have it in me to
exactly.
be that nice.
It is all simple for us to do it here. However,
You're not good at people.
If you think
you should
that your sister-in-law had something to do with your niece missing, I don't care who the fuck you are. You're not.
But she's in jail.
Honey,
What more can you do?
listen,
Because you're
honey.
trying to establish
I'm
a
on-
relation. Listen to me. You're trying to establish a relationship. You're trying to establish a connection to get her to feel comfortable to tell you where Kaylee is. It is.
But the idea,
that is
the
not
idea
something
that
you
she's
have to
going
be
to
a
do that
policeman to
over a
figure out.
jail phone.
I would absolutely do that.
I know you would. I
would
wouldn't have it in me.
absolutely.
I know
He
you
did
would.
that. He did that to me in the living room when I walked in not 3 weeks ago, and you couldn't believe he did it to me. he became my friend and asked me about, what girl's keeping you away from, your father and stuff. And I gave it to him without even asking.
It's because you've got shit for brains.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is the relationship that he's getting at, though, that is a very fair characteristic of the conversation.
None of her mother, her sister-in-law, her brother, none of them came across as fostering a connection. They all just came across as that's how they talk to each other because they're also fake.
But you also said of her mother, she was disgusting because she was worried about being on TV. No, she was trying to get the word out. Somebody help me find my granddaughter.
You said that, and I'm like, all right. The more you spread the word, the more people are looking. But also, when you heard the attorney, I don't remember. It wasn't Jose. You said Jose Baez was her attorney, but the attorney on the thing was.
And why wasn't he on the documentary?
Yeah, he wasn't on the documentary.
That's another good question.
That's 500 G's, and he wasn't a part of the documentary. That's odd.
So the lead attorney on the
Jose Baez
defense.
Mm-hmm. So the other attorney that was on there that like went and met with mom, like also got the feeling that they were more interested in the fame. This was after she had been found.
Yeah, but this is also the defense for Casey.
Yes,
it's hard to as hard as it may be to accept what the detectives found. It's equally as difficult to accept what
I think
the defense attorneys
perspective is somewhere in between.
Maybe, but here's the other thing, and I will say this in Casey's defense: that's me. Sorry, that defense team seemed to really love her. Like they all have relationships with her now, except for Jose, and he's the one that led. And
well, I don't know.
He doesn't have a relationship with her.
I don't
Tell
know.
me you're lying.
We
don't know. He wasn't in the. Maybe because he's still practicing, he didn't want to be a part of it.
Listen, if you heard all those people talk,
because of how
their families were getting death threats, they were getting death threats. I mean, you think about that. You're a lawyer, and you go through that, and your family's getting death threats. You're talking about leaving the state you're living in because of this case.
Take her to France.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about that. I probably wouldn't want to have been on that documentary either.
Have you guys seen the video of Casey Anthony in a bar where a chick throws a drink on her and she calls the police?
No.
So this is obviously not too recent, but it's not real old either. So we're probably somewhere in the middle. And she calls the police because another woman in there that I guess they had both been with the same dude. And
holy
an
shit.
argument
I do know
came
what you're
up,
talking about.
and like she comes off as this pretentious, much different than this video. I'm telling you, this documentary.
I've never seen that. I have no idea.
This documentary is meant, is definitely meant.
But
to
you know what's fun?
Sway.
The director of the documentary had full creative control of the documentary. Casey didn't go in with a script, come out with a script, say this. Like she didn't have say over what got put out or didn't.
Did Casey tell you that?
No, the director does at the beginning. Like at the beginning of the documentary.
Why does that matter?
Well, because
maybe he's not biased.
No, obviously, there's no doubt in my mind that the creator was biased or at least believed her story after talking to her. But we can't come out and say that Casey is spinning this a certain way. Casey's not creating the documentary. She's spinning her story. She's telling her story.
All right. I do have to say one other thing. Since you brought that up, I'm glad you did.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
A fart. This one thing about this infuriated me. And let me tell you why. Did you see the guy that, talked about, I think that Xanax killed her baby.
Oh, the roommate.
Yeah. Did you see that?
In the black shirt
times.
and the black button up.
And then
he was
30 minutes later,
driving in the truck, and then he starts crying because they say, well, did you ever think, I never thought about that. That was 110% done to show that that director or that person that created the documentary used him in my place
as a tool.
Used him.
Well, yeah, the third party.
He used him as like
emotional connection.
They used him as like what the population believes.
Yes.
So he represented.
And then when he
us,
found out that George was the main
and
reason
then
she was
in
indicted for the death
seconds,
penalty,
he falters and falls on the floor. I didn't think, and it was he was ridiculous from jump.
He
sounded
folded like a lawn
ridiculous,
chair.
and he was an idiot.
Yeah.
There was nothing about him.
I
Even
think
when
he's
she
just an
started
idiot.
saying the stuff, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Why give him so much time?
Because
It was only to show he represents a certain culture
demographic.
He does.
Yes.
Well, no, but
yes.
they're using him to represent me.
So I didn't think. I thought he was just an idiot that was willing to talk to them.
Well, he
and,
was, but
and
he was
they used
also.
it.
They looked at him and they said, "Oh, yeah, this will be good."
We can tell
Probably.
this dumb
Yeah,
bastard
yeah.
anything.
And then when they, they said,
Because
well,
he
I don't
also
even remember
has-
what it was they said, but they were like, "Well, did you know?" And he
It
was
was
like,
that-
I guess I
that
never
George-
thought about
that
that.
Yeah, it
George
was
was the
something-
reason she got.
Yeah.
No.
And then what?
No, that George was the reason she got indicted for the death
Yeah, but then he he said, well, did you ever think about how being molested as a child could change your perceptive, da 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 da. And
No, that's not right. He
That's not
said
the same
that-
guy?
No. They said, have you ever thought about why George was testifying against his own daughter for the death penalty? And he said,
I didn't know he
"Oh,
did that.
you know what? I did. This is my first time hearing it." And
And
then he
he
broke
literally
down into
needed- and he
puts his
needed a
hands in
break.
his head.
bullshit. Yeah,
And
yeah,
it was horrible.
I thought
Yeah.
right after that they told him that he.
We didn't make that.
No, it
part.
was the
I was so-
fakest acting
I
I've
was
ever
so-
No, I
seen.
know, I know. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I thought right after that, a little after that, they told him that
I don't remember.
George molested her too. That's what I thought.
Regardless of
I
that,
thought-
though,
I
his
thought that
his
knowledge had come out.
credibility is out of the
Well,
window.
his credibility is out of the window. But my point to the whole thing, not what he said, not that he believes or doesn't believe, none of
that
that.
the creator
But
still
they
had an agenda.
used him to represent the people that don't agree with what they're saying on the thing, like they're
Because
on the
was-
documentary,
he was
because he was
full- he was
vehemently
all in.
against, and then in seconds he folded. And he was stupid. That's the other part. The dude was not intelligent. He was a fucking idiot. And then they use
Dumb in a
him.
box
Let
box.
me let me sit there and I'll argue with you. And I don't know shit about it. But here, I'll see if I can play this. It probably won't be very good.
Into your microphone.
But here is the cell phone. This is the video of Casey calling the police. Here we go.
Earlier this week, we played for you the 911 call Casey Anthony placed when she claimed a woman threw a drink at her. Now, police body cam video has been released.
For the first time, we're seeing body cam footage of cops responding to Casey Anthony's 911 call.
So I'm still wet. I got a drink thrown at me. This girl has been harassing me for a while.
The woman in the fedora is Casey Anthony, the notorious mom who was acquitted 10 years ago for the murder of her daughter, Kaylee.
We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty.
Now she's back in the news and in a familiar setting, a bar. She's telling a cop that the altercation at the bar in Florida was over a guy.
And why did she throw a drink at you? Like, what happened? We dated the same person for a couple years. Malcolm Allison, who was with your department, one of your sergeants.
That's right. The guy Casey says they were arguing over is a police sergeant in West Palm Beach.
Whether they're together or not together, she got upset that he had texted me. I let her know that he had, and she came inside and threw a drink at me. Do you know her name? Her name is Thelma Moya.
Casey and Thelma Moya were reportedly friends
Thelma?
before they ended up in an altercation over the same guy.
I don't want to get him involved. He's my ex, he's her ex. That's why all this happened.
The woman who allegedly threw a drink at Anthony was not charged. She says the argument was about much more than an ex-boyfriend, but she wouldn't elaborate.
Now, how does that make you feel? Any different?
No.
It should,
Why?
because she's a. Did that person that's talking to that police officer sound like the same person in the
Yes.
documentary?
No, not at all.
Yes.
You're better
Well,
than that.
time out.
I'm taking no
You
sides.
can't-
That is not the
you-
same person.
No, but you can't compare what she's talking about in the documentary.
I don't know. It's everybody else's fault, not mine. I mean,
No,
I'm
saying,
just over here doing
Oh,
my own
shit.
thing. I'm just here living my life. I've got an ex. He's a cop. Look at me, how great things are.
And
but I'm
I'm
saying-
out in public in a bar wearing a fedora.
Okay,
and-
but time out. What I'm saying is, you're asking, does that sound like the same person? No, it doesn't sound like the same person to me. I mean, on the documentary, she's talking about her daughter, and this she's complaining someone threw a drink on her. I don't know what you wanted them to sound the same on.
Well, the person on the documentary sounded damaged and
But she's
belittled.
currently talking about her dead child.
Because of the
Yeah,
topic, I think.
But I'm going to be honest with you. That documentary felt more like I'm tired of being, I'm tired of having this said about me, and less I miss my daughter.
I don't know what you mean.
How much did she talk about? I just wish she could be here. I miss her. There were a couple of times where she cried, but how many times did you hear her say, "My God, I loved her more than anything," versus, "I don't know why people keep saying this about me."
I guess I don't remember hearing either.
Oh
that
no!
entire documentary.
Casey Anthony continually
that
stated.
entire documentary
The documentary was, of course, about clearing her name. So obviously, she's going to say, "Why would people say this about me? No one listened to me."
Well, let me just say this too. I did take some college in criminal justice.
You took some college?
I did.
This much.
Well, that much was enough to know this. She could go to the 50-yard line of the Super Bowl at halftime with a microphone and look at everybody and say, "I killed her, and here's how I did it." And she would not go to jail.
No, because it's double jeopardy.
You cannot be tried for the same crime twice.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't understand why she gets involved at all at this point, except for the money and except for the attention.
Absolutely.
You say absolutely
Well, I gotta
like that.
like.
But that
I'm
doesn't
surprised
mean-
that video you played. I'm surprised that there's a cop that would date her.
Well, I'm surprised that she's
Men are
out in
whores.
public.
Like
That's my
another.
point.
That's
That's my
another
point. That is my
That
point.
doesn't mean she killed her daughter. That
No,
doesn't,
it does not.
It
No, it
doesn't
does
mean that
not.
she killed her
But what
daughter.
it does mean is that she doesn't give a shit
What people
about
think.
what people think.
Yeah, because the documentary portrayed that she's living in hiding.
Yes.
Right. And
I've been
that
living
would-
I've been living in hiding for this long. That was 10 years. That was 2018.
yes, I'm not.
Your
look,
math's a little off on that, but that's
I'm-
okay.
No, they
It's
said it
not.
was 10 years ago.
It's not.
I'm not saying that the thing she did was. I do not take her side. Do I think she should rot in jail? Yes, because I believe there was neglect for her child. I do not
You
think.
realize neglect would be not much jail time.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, you weren't a good mom. Like, in the end, your child under your care is now no longer here. You knew about it. You didn't.
Yeah, but if her dad killed her,
Right, but
then
listen
what's
to
she
what I'm
gonna
saying
do?
because she got the dead body in her arms.
I totally agree. But
Okay,
according to you, she was in. According to you two, she was in shock and she was abused.
But
So
I'm
how
not-
could she possibly do anything?
I'm not saying that it's right. I've never agreed with what she
We're not
did.
saying how could she possibly do anything. We're saying we could see a path where she was not able to do anything and she made the wrong decision.
Yes,
Your
and she-
stripes are changing.
No, they're not. I've said it from the beginning.
Go ahead.
She cannot.
Go ahead.
She was handed her daughter. She did not do the right thing. I never would have let my daughter go. I don't believe I would have
I can tell you, you would not.
have let my daughter
You
go.
wouldn't.
I couldn't
But
peel you away
we
from
are-
the door when she was born.
I know we are not all the same people. We were not all this brought up the same. I was not abused. I was not molested. I was not forced to do exactly what somebody in my household said to do.
I have a
got
question
to make
for you.
hang on. I got to make my own choices.
I don't give a fuck
I
about your
was
question.
not in. Look at how people are that are in cults. Look at how people are that are in. I mean, that are sexual, that are sold for sex slavery. I mean, they are a different type of person because of how they were.
Fucked up they are. There.
Yes.
That is incomparable to this situation.
No,
Casey Anthony was not sold for sex.
It doesn't matter.
She was molested, raped by her father. They
Father.
said
Allegedly.
allegedly or not. Look at the man and how he acts.
Now you
No
said
man is going to talk about his granddaughter's sweet
Okay.
sweat.
All right. So let's talk about that because I've been wondering what this next clip is that I have. Oh no, it's not
Please.
that. So
Yeah,
let me
you
play
watched
this
the
one.
funeral
Let me
on
play
that.
this one first, and let me make sure we didn't play this one before. Let's listen. Casey Anthony.
okay, listening.
Yeah, nothing's happening.
You got a picture of her?
I thought I had more than this, but there doesn't seem
That
to be
might have
anything.
been the funeral because you had it pulled up on a different
No,
tab. and
it's
took you.
gone. We'll get rid of that. So I will do the funeral now, though. Here we go.
Yeah,
well, I
that
got to
was-
bring it up on the other screen.
That was it.
Don't mind us. I'm still learning all of this. All right, here we go. This is the
So
this is
Casey
the
had-
funeral you guys are talking
Casey had
about.
supposedly never seen the footage from her daughter's memorial or funeral.
All right,
And
here
this is her playing it.
Here we go. Let's let this play all the way through. Okay. Here we go.
Not today.
What do you think my question was going to be?
What happened was written all over your face. And I'm telling you, I'm not ready to answer. After this morning, after that, I need to watch her funeral. I need to see what he says.
We talked about showing you the footage of the memorial that you had never seen.
Right.
Are you ready to watch that?
I don't want to do this, but I know I need to.
God, we're here to remember and honor and thank you for a beautiful gift named Kaylee Marie Anthony. And so, Lord, we want to celebrate a life, though it was short. Wow, the impact that she will have for generations to come. Lord, we pray for George and Cindy.
I wasn't allowed to be at her funeral. I was sitting in jail under indictment. This wasn't something personal. I begged my mom to have a private, quiet funeral.
I stand here today, proud to be the grandfather of Kaylee Marie Anthony, who not only meant the world to me, but meant the world to my family, and so many of you that never got a chance to actually hug her, smell her hair, smell the sweet sweat when she came in from outside.
Are you fucking kidding
To
me?
hear her call me JoJo, I miss that kiss on the cheek, that special hug that I tell everyone, it's so great to get a hug from someone, but to get a hug from a small child, that gives me energy like you couldn't imagine.
That's not normal.
Someone tell me what's not normal about that.
Oh my God. Are
It is,
you
it
To
is
get a-
odd how he said it.
To get a hug
What
from
is
a
up?
small child gives me excitement, energy like
Pop,
I've
it's
never
odd
had.
how he said it, whether
Come
you like it or
on.
not.
The look on his face was not of
It was
sadness,
joy.
memory.
He's not up reliving sexually assaulting his
Oh my
granddaughter.
God.
Yeah,
He's
he was.
Yes.
He's giving intimate details about intimate pieces of their relationship. Not intimate that way. It's intimate in that he's trying to convey, he's trying to give you a sense, like literally by give the sweet sweat when she comes in from outside. And it's
weird.
It's not weird.
It is.
So if you're talking about our kids and you want to talk about, you're going to talk about Izzy's
I would talk
silly-
about the smell of her hair every day.
Sure.
The
Every
smell-
day.
smell of
Every
her-
day.
her hair, not
Every day.
her sweat. That's
That
too much.
sweet
It's her
And you're gonna
aroma
talk-
from when
you're-
she comes in.
You're going to
It's-
talk about her
You're
laugh.
wasting your breath.
No.
You're going to talk about her laugh and her silly noise that she does. You're going to talk
Mm-hmm.
about Piper's hoo-hoo and her little hands. And those are things you're going to talk about. Those were specific, and the way the kiss on the cheek.
The quirks that they have. They're quirks that you like, that you love about them.
That could be shared
Not
with,
intimate things.
Could it be possible that what he's trying to convey is that this little girl comes, and trust me, I'll put a bullet in anybody that I think hurts one of my girls or any girl. If I witness it, I would make it stop.
Well, then you better go shoot him, because
And-
if you don't think that he was reliving the times that
I
he got
don't.
to be close to
I
her.
don't. He was talking about he's using he's being ultra descriptive to help you live in a moment that he's in. When his little granddaughter comes through the door, hey Jojo or whatever he calls her, and he picks her up, he smells her
But
skin.
he only talked about
smells
physical. He
her
did not talk
hair.
about her, which is what.
Well, everybody's talked about her. He's trying to send his feelings. He's trying to get you to see it from his lens.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
From
The pedophile lens.
If you heard,
again, because he is not. Again, you're going to talk about her smile, her laugh, her
How
joy,
infectious she was.
infectious joy, or things she wanted to play with, or telling you a story.
He doesn't even just talk about Kaylee. He talks about, you know what it's like when you get a hug from a small child,
again,
and the
he's-
energy.
what greatest
the
feeling.
energy
That is
that
the
it
greatest
gives
feeling.
me. But you don't describe how the energy
I
it
don't.
gives you.
I don't.
And you don't
Pop,
close your eyes and look up as you're talking about
and
it.
none of you guys,
enjoy it.
none of you guys, as my children's grandparents, regardless of age, you guys wouldn't tell me about their
Scent.
sweat.
The smell
But
of
at the
their
same time,
sweat.
you still, every time you hug them, you take a deep breath. And he did say it a bit unorthodox. It is the sweet smell of her sweat. That is unorthodox, and 100% is. But I didn't think he was under that podium with a heart on. I'll be honest. I don't think he was doing that.
Does he have to be?
Yes.
Does he have to be with a heart on to make it?
Now I just told you it was odd. It was odd
Yeah,
how he
but
said
I'm,
that.
I'm just saying,
How
like,
he said that was odd. But what I'm saying is, I do not think he was under that goddamn podium with a heart on.
no, he probably
Can we say
wasn't.
boner?
I'm not saying he was, but that doesn't mean he.
But I don't think he was talking about the time she was sweating after coming in
So
from outside
so
playing.
let me okay.
Are you a
all right,
pedophile
all right.
for flipping my beanbag when I was little?
No.
That's
But here's
completely different.
That is more intimate than what he was saying.
let me ask
Well, he's not
this.
going to get on a podium and
say,
talk about
when I touched her.
Okay. So hold on. Let me go point counterpoint on this one once again.
Okay.
I can't believe I'm on the stand defending George Anthony, but here
Yeah,
we go.
I can't either. It's sickening.
So what you're trying to get me to buy into right here, ride the horse through this one, through the gate. He's so smart, and he's such a manipulator, and he can get Casey Anthony to sit in jail and lie and not chase down her own child and not tell what really happened, that she was molested and he was molesting her. And, he, for all of this time, he brainwashes everybody. And then he gets up on national TV, multiple networks, and in front of everybody in that sanctuary. And he professes in his own weird way the things he was doing to her. And you think he was that careless at that moment?
2 points.
I can't wait.
First one, adults that molest children are insecure about themselves, and they are not looked at as intellect by other adults. That's why they target children. And when you are saying that we're agreeing that Casey Anthony was under the control of her father, that is Casey Anthony as a child that was molested. Her brain is still in the child form. Anybody that looks at sexual assault victims from an early age is going to say when they are confronted by their abuser again, it is almost like their maturity level goes back to when they were a child. So that's completely separate. That's not him being intelligent. I don't think he's a smart man. I
do believe that he is so full of himself,
but
that
I think
he will not get caught, and he can spin it. I'm just a caring grandfather because you bought it. But I am telling you right now, I know a lot of grandparents, and not one grandparent is going to get up on stage that is not a pedophile and say how they and say shit like that. They are going
Shit
to
like that, meaning, so you guys are okay that the smell of the hair is okay, right?
Yes.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
And because the only thing you guys are stuck on is the smell of her sweet sweat.
No. And when you get a hug and a kiss
And a
from a
kiss on the
small
cheek.
child, it energizes you? Are you
because of the innocence of it.
Oh, come on.
The innocence of
Nothing
it.
about his face looked
innocent.
It's again, if you just listen, I want people to go and watch that portion of it and see what they say, because it's
Or
words.
you go to YouTube. We had it on.
Yeah.
Would you guys say he was aroused?
I think he was thinking back to moments that were.
That doesn't mean he becomes
so
aroused.
You think that everything I just said, that he ran this ruse for so long, these weeks and weeks and weeks, and then when it comes to burial, he lets it all hang out.
Because he's still getting away with it, Denny. He's not in jail sitting.
Pedophiles don't
He's not
think
in
there's
jail
anything
sitting
wrong with what they're doing.
saying.
But why didn't he? Like, you guys aren't the only smart people that were involved here. So why didn't anybody else? And I will go back. Why
There's
didn't somebody else say?
a ton of people.
So okay. So are we also going to say that Cindy Anthony didn't know that something was going on between Casey?
I think Cindy Anthony was so caught up in her own hell of her relationship period that she knew her husband was a scumbag.
Didn't Casey say she told her mom and her mom told her she
No,
was
about
a
her
whore?
brother.
A whore.
About her brother.
No, I think she said it about her dad.
Nope.
No, it was her brother. Because she was.
She never told her mom about her dad.
Because that seems worse. And I could see how you would, a brother doing that, another young kid doing that is easier to talk about than your father, an adult doing that to you. The adult that's supposed to protect you above
And a
all.
lot of girls are afraid that their mother will hate them.
Well, but hold on, because she says anytime any of the story doesn't make sense, Cindy attacks them. Like,
Yeah.
you see them. So why
Which is
wouldn't
another
Cindy,
reason.
if she heard it or if she insinuated it, or even if she sensed it, Cindy, do you think she just sat idly by?
You would be surprised.
Cindy
at how many-
thought that her husband was having affairs. She knew about the affair. About all of the other affairs that he had. She doesn't think that he is. Again, you would not. No mother is going to know that the person that they are in love with is doing that to their child.
I think that there's a chance
And
that Cindy would know, as in tune as she was to everything.
In tune. That woman was far from in tune that I
Whenever
saw.
she caught anything, and Casey, there's no way that Casey had this deep, dark secret that she never, ever mentioned.
No, she did mention that's the only thing that gives me like any validity to the molesting story is she told a fiance prior to any of this bullshit happening, prior to her being pregnant. It comes out that she did in fact tell someone else that she had been molested by her brother as a child. So it wasn't just, oh, I've been accused of this, now this has happened to me.
Well, here's what we need to do. We're going to wrap it up soon.
Oh, yeah.
But before we wrap it up, we can't get out of this without knowing what Rosie O'Donnell thinks.
Oh, yeah.
Is that Rosie?
That's Rosie O'Donnell.
Holy shit.
Time has not been good to her.
Life has not been good to her.
And it shouldn't be. And I hope her obituary is next. But here we go.
Jesus.
Oh, my God.
Oh, I'm in my car, and I'm thinking about Casey Anthony. I watched that whole documentary, and I believe her father did it. I do.
I hope this changes.
Now, when I started watching that documentary, I thought there's no way in hell
Oh my God, she's just like you.
that this girl is innocent.
Oh my God.
And
Get glasses like that, we're splitting
I
up.
changed my mind. Listen, it kind of made sense to me what she was saying, and I believed her. And everyone said she was a great mom. I don't know. I know this is going to be a controversial opinion because I went on, when I first started watching it, I made a TikTok last night and I was like, come on, who's she kidding? And everybody was agreeing with me saying, yeah, she's guilty. I would never watch that. She's making money on that. But what an amazing, amazing documentary. Truly one of the best ones I've seen in a long time. It was riveting. And I think it might change people's opinions. If you can go in with an open mind, because believe me, the way they structured the documentary, you're having questions. You're going 30 days, 31 days, a 2-year-old baby? Come on. But a 2-year-old baby, and if the father was as mental as he seems to be, and as abusive as he was to the whole family, I don't know. I don't know. I really want to talk to the woman who directed that film. That's what I'd like to do on my podcast. My podcast starts like in February. And that's the interview I really want to do. Not Casey Anthony, because
You think she'll have Donald
I don't
Trump?
think she does interviews like that, number
No.
one. And number two, I want to talk to the director. I want to understand what compelled her to tell this story and how she put it together.
Fake news.
I don't know. Leave your message. Tell me what you think. But please watch the documentary before you comment. Everybody says, oh, she was guilty. That's what everyone says, right? Before you watch it. Then you watch it and you go, ho, ho, ho. What? What? Leave me a message. TikTok, you don't stop. What's your opinion?
God damn, that's Rosie O'Donnell. I didn't think
She
that
probably
was
should have
Rose.
combed her hair
Again,
before she left.
I have always questioned the grandparents. Always
So I
questioned the
think
grandparents.
there's either she snapped and killed her. It was an accidental death that was tried to be covered up, that George was an accomplice of, or George had much more involvement than we will ever know.
Here's the thing.
But because no one did their due diligence and they only looked at one, the other three options
All right,
or other
so
two
let me ask
options were
this
never
question.
considered.
Is George still alive?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me tell you, he could still be tried for it. He hasn't been tried for this crime yet.
Nope.
And according to the documentary,
Okay, can
he
I
hasn't
can I
been
ask one question?
tried or questioned? Yes.
Would you go on a grand jury and make your sons or daughters look guilty despite what you thought?
No.
So tell me
can't
why
drop the
he was
mic on that.
Tell me why he was on
Because he doesn't think that
every interview saying my daughter has no in this, or she's not involved in this. This is not her. Da 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 da. Changes his mind on every other interview, and then goes in front of a grand jury and makes her look completely guilty for the death penalty. I'm not just talking about sitting the rest of her
here's
life
the
in
funny
prison.
Thing. They were talking about. I watched this piece of the documentary tonight. They said, you know, the one
when
lady
the fuck
that was
you
on.
have time to watch it tonight?
I don't remember how I saw it today, or tonight, but I did. Oh, it was when I was setting this up, and the girl said, you know, the state of Florida was actively trying to murder your daughter, and you know, put it in those terms. So I can see why you feel that way.
No, it's not even that. I mean, I've sat on a grand jury before. I
What was it about?
a lot of different
She
things.
can't talk about that.
But I know what weight a grand jury can hold in a case in general. If you can get 16 people to believe you, and that's when they do take it to trial. They say, okay, well, a grand jury has indicted you. So now you're indicted. So here's your options. You can go to trial or you can take this plea deal, right? Most people decide to take a plea deal because if the grand jury can indict you and you can get 16 people to believe it, you can get 12 people to believe it. So people who are in those positions get scared. I don't want to take my chances at trial. Now you have.
Do you think the same people that would get scared also get scared that their daughter has lied about everything? So when he's asked a question, he gives what he believes is the truth?
No, because every time he was on an interview or anything,
When was the last time anyone was arrested for something they said on an interview?
Never. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm
It is what
saying,
you're saying.
no, it's not. I'm saying
just how is he so inconsistent?
He's so inconsistent.
You can't say that he was on there just saying what he thinks is the truth when he's going online and saying no.
And that's fair.
And maybe he's
That's
trying
fair.
to save face as the family.
And let me
for
ju-
media.
and let me just say this too. I know it sounds like I'm a George apologist on this. I'm not. I'm just not. I think he's a weirdo that I think the whole family has
They're fucked up.
multiple issues. Okay.
Mhm.
But let me, what I'm doing on this is in my opinion, I'm not allowing the blame to be deflected from Casey. And that's why I'm standing in and arguing about this. I'm in no way saying, hey, George Anthony is a victim in this and he should be left alone. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is George Anthony is being made. This all should have been an issue then. She had every chance to say all of this then. And I get what you're saying.
And according to her, she said it to the detectives, and the detectives just took his word for it and
which is
ignored her.
which is understandable because she lied. But
Why didn't Jose Baez set him up and say, "Tell me about the time you molested your daughter. Tell me
He
about the time
denied
you
it.
molested your stepdaughter."
On stand, they said that they asked him on trial if you ever did, and once he denies it, you can't go and continue to ask questions about it.
Why
That'll
can't
be
you?
because they'll object to it. He's already said he
they'll
didn't do
sustain.
it. You can't ask
because once you
questions that-
answer a question on oath, that's supposed to be it, right?
Why wasn't Casey ever asked?
She wasn't compelled to testify against herself.
But just so you know,
You don't have to.
I'm not sitting here and saying that you should take away guilt from Casey and put it on George, because I think what she did was 100% neglectful and completely wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
But come on.
So let me
again,
understand where you
either-
two are coming from, and we got to wrap this up. But let me understand where you guys are coming from as we start to wrap this up. Who killed Kaylee?
I don't know.
George.
I don't think George killed her.
No, I wasn't doing. I
don't
did
think-
not make that noise to you.
I
I
don't
made
care.
that noise as to
Who do you think killed her?
I don't know.
You
dude.
know, one thing
I don't know who killed her.
I
either.
think the detectives are at fault for us not ever having the answer. Yes.
Yeah, they are. Why
They're
not?
not at fault. That is a subjective business.
A phone ping does not break
That
this
is a
case.
suggestive
No, but if
business.
they had exhaust, so listen.
And let me say this too. There's evidence that we have no idea of.
Right.
There's a lot of shit
against her,
and we'll never know.
Right?
We're never going to
There's
get the answer.
evidence that they have on George that we don't know about,
Mhm.
that they may not be able to corroborate, as you say.
It's inadmissible.
Right? So
Corroborate.
so there are different things. There are things that they know, but they made the case. And you know what? Those guys are living right now in their hell that she's walking free
Yeah.
because
Well,
nobody paid for it.
Right. And so I
guarantee you, this is the one that got away.
when
and those
you
guys hate it.
have I know, and I think it's a combination. So the prosecuting attorney, when the police officers bring a case and say, I have all of this evidence, I would like you to act. Like, as a prosecuting attorney, you have the choice to act or say whether or not it's enough. And I think that they missed the ball. If Casey was guilty, if they had taken more steps, if they had done more other work on the side, then she could have been convicted. She wouldn't have had the space for the bullshit story. So as a detective, your job is not only to collect the evidence to prove why someone did do it, but also to prove what their story is incorrect.
Because
and that's what I think
not to prove who did do it, but
Also, who
everybody
did
else
not.
that did not do it.
Sure.
And I do agree with that. And I think that there
was something missed, and that's the only way she
yeah.
got acquitted.
Well, I will also
personally
say
think that they
this.
both would be sitting in jail right now, or they would both.
I would say that it would be, if they wouldn't have went for the death penalty, they probably would have got her
Yes.
convicted.
Also that.
And they should have. But here, I will also say this trial captured the entire country.
It did.
As did O.J. Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
Don't remember that one.
Well,
You weren't
you
alive.
were 2 years old. When O.J. Simpson was the first real courtroom. You're watching it happen. You're watching it live. Okay. And when everything is so public, I don't care how much you try and sequester and keep people away, public opinion sneaks in.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But there's also,
and I think that
there's
can also
also
be detrimental.
there were people lining the streets
Mm-hmm.
when O.J. Simpson was on trial. Set O.J. free, set O.J. free, set O.J. free. And when they did, it was like a party out there. And the same thing with this one. It was such a big situation that it almost became, look, you can't make a mistake on this.
Mhm.
So if you're going to make a mistake, it's got to be in her favor, not the prosecution. And I believe that played some into it. And that's part of why she's here. But here's the long and the short, and we got to cut it off. We're never all going to agree.
No, and it's fine.
Watching the story was interesting to me.
Mhm.
And, when people say don't watch it because she's getting paid, she got paid whether I watch it or
Yeah,
not.
she got paid
So
one time.
she already
one
got
and
it.
done.
So I might as well watch it and be pissed.
Yeah.
But it's, I'll just say this. I love all of you.
Nope,
Okay.
I hate you guys. We should all think the same.
But Casey Anthony, I think she's deeper into it. I don't know if she killed her. I'll say that too. I don't know if she killed her. I don't. There's nothing that links her to killing her. Just like there's nothing linking George to it.
There's nothing linking.
But I
anybody.
feel like she feels more involved than what George did to me. And like I say, it's hard for me to make that leap. I'm not going to argue it, but that's my feeling. And he was a little weird. She was suspect. Jamie, give us final thought.
I really did enjoy the documentary. I don't usually enjoy those, but I did enjoy this one. I'm glad I watched it.
Do you pay for Peacock on your own?
Mm-hmm.
She pays for it with ads because she's got a credit card that she's got to pay off. Wish I got an ad-free account, but hey.
Oh, you watched it on Jamie's account, not mine.
Yeah.
That's because your password didn't work.
Yeah, I do. I don't pay for it. It's free because I have the ads.
With ads, yeah.
You could put it on your credit card.
You could do that.
I hate you.
You could.
Anyway, I don't think that blame needs to be taken from Casey.
Cha-ching.
But I do believe there is more than one person at fault for this.
Agreed. Braden, give us final thought. Get us out of here.
She would have been almost 18 now, right?
She was
Math checks out, right?
2008.
Oh, almost 18. 17 this year, as a matter of fact.
2008, so it'd be 14. She'd be 17.
Yeah.
Yep.
So regardless of how anybody thinks, somebody should be punished or at fault for an almost 18-year-old not to be with us this day. Other than that,
Especially that cute little girl, man.
Adorable.
She was
adorable.
so cute.
So pretty.
Yep.
And
Don't say that.
Yeah, you
Fucking
weirdo.
child molester.
Okay, he didn't say she was
Cut
pretty or beautiful.
it out. But what I'm saying is that somebody should be punished for that little girl not being with us today.
And one day they will be.
I did not like watching the documentary. I'm a parent. I've got 2 little boys, and hopefully I am not graced with a little girl because I know how I will be. But
Let me tell you, do it while you're young.
But what I do know is that, like I said, somebody should be punished for that, and I'm not sure if we'll ever get that answer. So
you won't.
I'm going to have to just be good aim with mine.
Let me tell you.
By the
If
time
you
they
don't-
get old enough, I'm not going to be able to defend them.
if you don't have the aim, I will.
I got yelled at several times for talking about how she looked a lot like Isabel.
She did look like Isabel, and stop saying it. Give us your final thought.
My final thought is
She
what you
looked like
wouldn't let me.
Isabel.
Stop it.
What you what you wouldn't say. Let me say earlier, when social media is involved in a case like this, I think the prosecuting attorney kind of got caught up in the social aspect of it and stopped looking at the just what was inside the case. And I think that's a little bit how they tailored more to the social media side and the public eye than they did what was actually going on in the courtroom. I think that's how it also got blundered.
I also think that they felt like
I'm
if they
sorry, your
no,
final
I
thought
want to
was
say
over.
something. I feel like if they felt like they got the social aspect in it and everybody was against it,
Then
could
how could they
sway.
lose?
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Kaylee Anthony.
Yes.
Yeah, Kaylee Anthony was a beautiful little girl, and regardless of how it got there and who did it, I'm sure they're all feeling that sting.
Yeah. Life
Extended
taken too
family
soon.
are, everyone. It's just a sickening ordeal everywhere. So while I'm glad that it came out and gave us an opportunity to talk about it, I'm sorry to know as much about it as I even do.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's horrible that way. But in the meantime, thank you for listening to our bonus edition this week.
Wait a minute.
Keep telling your friends about us. We appreciate it. And Chico lives.
Y'all crazy bitch.
R-D-I-V-O-R
didn't get enough of us this week, did you? Jamie, where can they email us?
Oh, you can email us at tgcsod@gmail.com.
Social media?
You can find us on Facebook. Thank God Cancer Saved Our Divorce.
Come on, there's a couple more.
Instagram at TGCSOD and Twitter at TGCSOD.
There it is, folks. Track us down.
Yeah.